Hi everyone, welcome to week 7. I can't believe it's already week 7 of term 1. It's going so quickly. Start off with just let you know that last week I attended the Principal Induction Conference, which was a 3-day conference for the Department of Education's Leadership Institute, along with over 100 newly appointed and long-term leaving principals from all across the state. Topics included finance, legal issues, performance and development, Aboriginal education and inclusion and wellbeing, alongside a range of leadership development, learning and activities. So it was a really inspiring 3 days, a lot of reminders for me, a lot of resources that I can bring back and share with the school, as well as a lot of learning for myself as well. A big thank you to Davida Thomas, who, along with the leadership team, kept the school running smoothly in my absence. It is an absolute honour to have someone so capable and experienced just to seamlessly continue school operations. It means I don't have to be worried about having my head in 2 places while I'm attending something like this conference, because I have 100% trust in what's happening back here at the school. Zone and Sydney East sports team trials have all been in action. So a lot of our primary students have been trialling for zone teams in a range of different sports, and some have been successful in getting through to the next level, representing our zone to compete at the Sydney East Carnivals for their respective sports, vying for a place in that Sydney East team to then go on to a state carnival, which is very exciting. So good luck to all of those athletes. Miss Bukalil has been coordinating all of this from the school's point of view, working with all of the coaches from each of the zone teams, and students are notified about those upcoming events, and they need to see Miss Bukalil to get those notes if that's what they are wanting to do over the course of the year. Today, our Year 6 leadership team are attending the National Young Leaders Day at the Sydney International Convention Centre. For many of the students, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be in the same room as their heroes and role models, and it provides a really unique opportunity for students to be at a world-class venue. The International Convention Centre is amazing, and to hear from some of Australia's most high-profile people as they share their insights from their own leadership journeys, and for our students to be inspired to start their own leadership journeys. You can read more about this if you want to know more. There's a link below in the summary newsletter below at halogen.org.au. Last Friday, a couple of thank yous to the P&C. Last Friday, the Kindy afternoon tea was held by the P&C and some of our Year 1 parents. It was a lovely opportunity to welcome our kindergarten families to the school with a Friday afternoon get-together. And by all accounts, it was a really great afternoon. So thank you for that. And also last night, the P&C hosted an online safety presentation called Think You Know. We had over a dozen parents there, some really valuable information there for families around making sure their children stay safe online. And again, thanks to the P&C who arranged that. And they'll be sharing some other presentations later in the year on topics that the community have asked for. This year, at the moment, this time of term, a lot of our teachers are very busy applying everything they learnt about your children from the Getting to Know You interviews, along with their in-class assessments, observations, and from the extensive handover process they had from last year's teacher. Some families, as a result of that, will be contacted to finalise their personalised learning and support plans, and our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island families will be invited to our personalised learning pathway afternoon tea on Friday the 17th of March with the teachers and with Uncle Anthony. So look out for that invitation. Many other students will have learning adjustments and accommodations planned out by their teacher with the support of our learning support teacher, Kylie Tran. These students are able to access the curriculum at their level and to demonstrate their knowledge, understanding and skills to the best of their abilities. So the personalised learning support plans and the personalised learning pathways, you'll hear from your teacher to finalise those. The learning adjustments and accommodations, the teacher will be planning for as a result of those meetings that you've already held. A little bit of an assets update for you. The USH Hub is still being finalised. Tradesmen, you may have seen them in and out regularly completing that fit out. We're really hoping that Kids Capers will be in for the school holidays, so keep your fingers and toes crossed that continues to progress and they're in there for the holidays. Some of the drainage works around the school are continuing, so looking at that work is replacing some of the damaged underground pipework systems around the school, which hopefully would reduce the likelihood of some of those small flooding events that we saw last year. So that work's continuing. Just wanted to give you a little update about something that occurred yesterday that lots of the community have reached out about. One of our students was hit by a car while crossing the road on their way to school yesterday morning. Thank you to all those community members who did inquire to check if they were okay. We can report that yes, they are okay. They are receiving ongoing medical treatment, but luckily no major injuries. So this is a reminder, a very unfortunate reminder that we do need to be safe around our schools. Children need to constantly be learning about that road safety. And further on in the newsletter, you'll see some information about that and some resources to help you talk to your children about that. Last week, there was an article about the new restrictive practices policy in our newsletter, which prompted some questions from our community. The announcement was from the Department of Education for all school communities, and it was not in response to any specific circumstances at our school. So it was a very generic thing for all school communities. In terms of that policy, later this term, we at Wilkins will be devising our school behaviour support and management plan, which documents our school procedures and how they align to that new policy. Our positive behaviour for learning processes align really closely with that new policy and procedures. So for us, it'll be a process of documenting and then sharing these procedures, and we'll be consulting with the P&C and Inclusion Committee before we finalise that document. A couple of Q&As from our morning with the coffee with the principal this morning. Glee Club, some parents wondering what's happening with that. Is it going ahead? Yes, it is most definitely going ahead. There was an absolutely overwhelming response to the Glee Club. Miss Tran, our learning support teacher, who is also coordinating this, is now planning how she's going to manage this, as she has more students than she's able to have places for in the Glee Club. So keep an eye out for some further information about that later this week or early next week about the next steps in that. Final thing from me, positive behaviour for learning. There's a question about that as well, about parent involvement in that committee. So positive behaviour for learning is relatively new at Wilkins, and we're still in that developmental phase. And the next step of that will be to have parent representative to be part of the ongoing planning and evaluation process. So that will be something we'll look forward to next term or later in the year. All right, well, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you around at the school gates or other times during the week.